The Toronto Blue Jays suck! Hello, I'm Corey Thiessen, and welcome to Thiessen Talk. You can probably already guess what this video is going to be about. The Toronto Blue Jays. Yes, I said Blue Jays. I meant to say that. And we are going to compare them to my favorite team, which happens to be the winningest team in all of professional sports, the New York Yankees. The Toronto Blue Jays have 2 World Series. That's right, 2. Just 2. Compared to my favorite team, the New York Yankees, who have 27. 2. Well, Blue Jays fans will often try and say, oh, we won them back to back. Or, oh, the Yankees just buy their teams. Let's talk a little bit about that. In 1992, which was the first World Series the Blue Jays won, they had a payroll of $43,663,666, according to baseballcube.com, which was 3rd highest in Major League Baseball and the highest in the American League. In 1993, which is their most recent title, according to baseballcube.com, they had a payroll of $45,747,666. That was the highest not only in the American League, again, but in all of baseball. So, I guess you could really argue that money does buy teams. Well, you buy something when you pay any amount of money for it. Whether you pay your players $1, $1 billion, somewhere in between, you're buying your team. And we have, I understand, in the 90s, teams paying in the 40 millions at the top pales in comparison to now with some teams paying well over 200 million. Like, you got the Yankees are usually one of the best known ones, but I know that the Red Sox, the Mets, I think the Dodgers, there's some other teams that pay pretty high too. But then there's what a lot of people don't talk about is there's revenue sharing, or luxury tax, as baseball calls it, which is a form of a soft salary cap, which is complete bullshit. Some people will say, well, you have some teams spending so much more, the smaller market teams won't be able to compete. It ensures a more level, more competitive playing field. That is such crap. While the logic may or may not be there, if you can't keep up, get out of the way. Plain and simple. Luxury tax. These teams exceeding this threshold, or kind of a soft cap, are having to pay millions of dollars. Millions. To, smaller market teams. Some teams might be unable to pursue certain players, yes. However, some teams, because it's business, some of them just aren't going to be willing to. Say you worked really hard for your money. And let's say you have a nice house or a nice car, a nice apartment, but your neighbor doesn't. Should you then have to pay for your neighbor's apartment? Should you have to pay for your neighbor's car? And that's without even knowing anything about your neighbor's situation. They may work. They might be hard workers too, just earning less money than you. And that's nothing against low-wage workers. I've had lots of low-paying jobs myself. But it's also possible that your neighbor might be a lazy bum. Should you have to spend less money because the person next to you has less? Of course not. Anyhow, let's start looking into team histories. World Series titles. The Toronto Blue Jays, as I have mentioned, have 2. That's right, just 2. That's all they got. 92 and 93. That's actually the same for their AL pennants. They have 2 of those. 92 and 93. Now let's compare them to the most winning team in all professional sports, the New York Yankees. They have 27. And this information I'm giving you, most of it's on Wikipedia, so it's not private privy information. You can go look it up yourself if you don't believe me. The Yankees have 27 World Series titles. The next closest team to them is the St. Louis Cardinals. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe they have either 10 or 13. Don't quote me on that number exactly, but the Yankees have at least double their next closest competitor in that term. So the Yankees have won 27, and let's go through this year by year. 1923, 27, 28. There's back-to-back Blue Jays fans. You're not the only team that's done it. 32, 36, 37, 38, 39. There's 4 years in a row, Blue Jays fans. 41. So that means they won it 5 out of 6 years. 43, 47, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. There's 5 years in a row, 49 to 53, 56, 58, 61, 62. There's another back-to-back, 77, 78. There's another back-to-back, 96, 98, 99, 2000. There's a triple, and 2009. We talked about AL pennants as well. One step shy of the World Series, the League Championship Series, the LCS. The Yankees have 40 of those. 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 32, 36, 37, 38, 39, 41, 42, 43, 47, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 55, 56, 57, 58, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 76, 77, 78, 81, 96, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2003, 2009. So that's 40 compared to another 2. Let's look at division titles. Essentially, what was at one point the first round of the playoffs have wild card round now, but the Blue Jays have a couple more of those. They have 6 of those. 85, 89, 91, 92, 93, and 2015. So a few more of those. And let's look at wild card berths. The Blue Jays have obtained a wild card berth in 2016, 2020, and 2022. The Yankees have 9 wild card berths: 95, 97, 2007, 2010, 2015, 2017, 2018, 2020, and 2021. So, as you can see, a lot more competitive. Even the years they did not win at all. Because at the end of the day, you got to remember, there's one team that wins it, and there's 29 or 30 other teams that don't. Now, another argument that Blue Jays fans also give is, the Yankees have been in the league So much longer than the Blue Jays. Okay, you're right. Also keep in mind that without even getting into when the Blue Jays got in the league, the Yankees have won the World Series 5 times, just since the last time the Blue Jays won in 93. They won in 96, 98, 99, 2000, and 2009. So they won 3 years in a row, 3 years out of 4, and then had their 27th in 2009. So what's your answer there? Let's look a little bit into team history. Not going to read everything here, but again, this is Wikipedia, so you can look at a lot of this. I will start with the Blue Jays. I will read, we'll say 2 paragraphs of this. The Toronto Blue Jays are a Canadian professional baseball team based in Toronto. The Blue Jays compete in Major League Baseball, MLB, as a member of the American League AL East Division since 1989. The team has played its games primarily at Rogers Centre downtown. The name Blue Jays originates from the bird of the same name, and blue is also the traditional color of Toronto's collegiate and professional sports teams, including the Maple Leafs, ice hockey, and the Argonauts, Canadian football. In 1976, out of the over 4,000 suggestions, 154 people selected the name Blue Jays. In addition, the team was owned by Labatt Brewing Company, makers of the popular beer Labatt Blue, colloquially nicknamed Jays. The team's official colors are royal blue, navy blue, red, and white. I'll scroll down a little bit here. The Blue Jays were approved as a part of the 1977 Major League Baseball expansion discussions after Toronto's original plan of getting a Major League Baseball team and buying out the San Francisco Giants fell through. They would be added along the Seattle Mariners. The team was represented by legal counsel Herb Solway and Gord Kirk. Kirk prepared the original documents which led to the founding of the team in 76. All right. So not only have the Yankees won the World Series 5 times since the last time the Blue Jays won, they've won it 7 times since the Blue Jays have been in the league. 7. Remember, Blue Jays fans, you have 2. Just 2. That's all you got. Just 2. The Blue Jays had the Pat Gillick era, which was roughly 77 to 94. The Blue Jays played their first game on April 7th, 1977 against the Chicago White Sox before a home crowd of 44,649. I can't believe that many people would want to watch the Blue Jays. Wait, did I just say that out loud? The game is now perhaps best remembered for the minor snowstorm which began just before the game started. Toronto won the snowy affair at 9-5, led by Doug Oltz, 2 home runs. That win would be one of only 54 of the 1977 season. The Blue Jays finished last in the AL East with a record of 54 and 107. Wow, the Blue Jays with a losing record? They're playing .335 ball. Now, if you could bat .335 as a batter, that would be pretty damn impressive. Baseball's probably one of the only sports where you can fail 70% of the time and still be considered a superstar, or close to. After that season, assistant general manager Pat Gillick succeeded Peter Bravasi as general manager of the team, a position he would hold until 1994. (1982 to 84). This is Blue Jays still under new manager Bobby Cox. It's a name a lot of you baseball fans will know. Toronto's first solid season came in 1982. The Jays finished 78 and 84. That's a .481 season. They're considering that solid? I know you can have a good season without winning the World Series, but how is a losing record a solid season? Blue Jays fans would consider that. Their pitching was led by starters Dave Stieb, Jim Clancy, and Luis Leal. An outfield featuring a young Lloyd Mosby and Jesse Barfield. 1982 was also the first year the Jays did not place last, finishing 6th in the East out of 7 teams. There's a success. Well, for the Blue Jays aren't going to get success very often, so that's probably what they're going to run with. Mediocrity is success. In 1983, the Blue Jays compiled their first winning record of 89 and 73. 89 and 73. It's a .549 season. Not astronomically high, but it's not bad. Probably need better than that to actually get somewhere, but I digress. Finishing in 4th place, 9 games behind the eventual World Series champions, the Baltimore Orioles. I'll get to this later, but the Yankees actually were called the Orioles at one point. First baseman Willie Upshaw became the first Blue Jay to get at least 100 RBIs in a season. The Jays' progress continued in 1984, finishing 89 and 73, but this time in a distant 2nd place behind another World Series champion, the Detroit Tigers. After 1984, Alfredo Griffin went to the Athletics, thus giving a permanent spot to young Dominican shortstop Tony Fernandez, who had become a fan favorite for many years. So the Blue Jays took several years just to get a winning season. I know teams will bite the dust sometimes, but '89 to '91, Cito Gaston took charge, and there they got 2 more AL East titles. Yeah, then there's 92, 93. Their glory years. It appears they were pretty competitive in the 90s, but 2 titles. That's all they got. 2. Just 2. Remember, Blue Jays fans, I'm probably going to say this 100 more times before this video is over. That's all you got. 2. Yes, back-to-back is an accomplishment, but it's almost as if you think you're the only team that's ever done it. Keep in mind, there's teams that have won 5. Oh wait, that's the Yankees. They've also won it back-to-back a couple times. Let's also talk about playoff droughts. The Blue Jays went 21 seasons without even a playoff berth. After 92-93, they didn't hit the playoffs again until 2015. 21 years without a playoff spot. Again, I understand only one team's going to win every year. But shouldn't you at least try to be competitive? And oh my goodness, you would have thought riots were going to start when the Blue Jays won a playoff spot. The first time in 21 years, you would have thought it was the second coming of Christ. Hallelujah! The Blue Jays made the playoffs once in 21 years. Now, I mean, there's going to be years the Yankees have and will miss the playoffs as well. But if you look at overall success, the Yankees and the Blue Jays are not even close. a lot of times the Yankees' down years, equated to Blue Jays terms, would be at least a mildly successful year. Let's even talk about this season a little bit. By usual standards, the Yankees are having a bad year. It's kind of embarrassing. They are currently 8 games out of first with a record of 54-48. It's a .529 record, which puts them about 2.5 games behind the Blue Jays, who are at 57-46, a .553 record. So you can see, even when the Yankees are tanking, they are still in competition with the Blue Jays. I would try to see things through the eyes of a Blue Jays fan. Unfortunately, I cannot fit my head that far up my ass. Now, that being said, in some sense, I almost don't care who you cheer for, whether you cheer for the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Orioles, the White Sox, the Chicago Cubs, the Philadelphia Phillies, whoever, pick your team. At the end of the day, I don't really care. But for Blue Jays fans to say that the Blue Jays are better than the Yankees, well, I'm sorry, that's just ludicrous. There may have been stretches where they did a little bit better, yeah. But look at teams as a whole success. The Blue Jays have two World Series. Remember that, 2. That's all they got. Just 2. That's it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.